Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Sunday, August 10th, 2025. Well, President Trump has been extremely busy this weekend, and I thought I didn't care to wait to ask the tarot about some of what we're hearing over the weekend. He did some posting already on social media today on yesterday on the 9th, mentioning that on Monday he was going to be holding a press conference and announce actions that are being taken to make the city of Washington, D.C. As close to crime-free as possible. He's also put out some warnings to people that are homeless that he's going to be moving them out of the city and they will be provided for if that's their only issue is being homeless. But he said if you're if you're a criminal, just hey, hang tight, we're coming for you too. So I wanted to do a read today about some of these comments he's making because it caused a lot of chatter in the alt media circles about what's coming on Monday because it's not just um, it's not just the reported, I'm going to be tough on crime, and this is another city that's getting cleaned up like I've been working to clean up the border. There's been speculation that because a grand jury is being convened, that is going to be looking at possibly whether or not charges will be um, rendered for people that were part of the Russian collusion narrative. I have to say narrative because HOAX is censored on one of the platforms I post on. But anyway, that narrative is going to be looked at closely in a grand jury setting. And so that the cleanup possibly might be involved with that. And that cleanup may, just like with the border, include having some National Guard presence. So I just thought it might be good to ask if the what's going on Monday. Okay, I think it may be time for, there's an expression, I want to explain it in case you think it's only got kind of a off-color uh, connotation to it. Balls to the wall. I think we may have a balls to the wall Monday. Now, balls to the wall originally started with aviation, and that referred to taking those throttle levers, which had a ball-like point on them, all the way to the max, up to the wall of in the cockpit there and kept going full speed ahead. So balls to the wall. I think we may be in for it on Monday, and I think that the reported talking point of hey, I'm through with dealing with crime-ridden capital city maybe only part of what's being addressed and the reasons why. So let's ask the universe for some insights about this. Okay, I think it's kind of interesting to ask about. I would like to also remind you on Friday, I hosted a live stream and we had some technical issues and people were fabulous. But the point I'm making is at the point that YouTube stopped my live stream, which was not by my choice, I was asking the cards. A viewer's question was in the next 10 days from the 8th to the 18th, what could we expect? Some big events? And just to let you know, the cards, even though YouTube cut off the video, said yes, indeed. It was going to be event filled. It was going to be events that patriots or those that are awake would be pretty happy with. Also, the cards indicated that in this 10-day window, there's going to be the reported passing of someone notable, and that person is not going to be too widely mourned in the awake and patriotic circles. So I just thought I'd give you a summary of that read, which was one of the current events read I did during that. If that interests you and you're willing to listen through some technical difficulties that were imposed on us by outside agencies. The live stream's still up on my website, and if you look in the video description box, you can see what current events topics I addressed and which ones before in the hour and 12 minutes we were allowed to record. So let's ask the universe about this. What's going on with Trump and his Monday press conference and plans for DC in general? What's going on? I want to know, is this to get that city safe to really start going public with things that we know have probably already occurred in the background quietly, closing those loopholes between the time the action actually happened and when it's going to be announced and part of the collective consciousness, public awareness. So I'm going to switch the camera. We'll ask the universe about this, see what it has to say, and we'll find out together. One moment. Trump has announced Monday he's going to be holding a press conference that just talks about how he's planning to rapidly. Oops, we had something that popped out here. We had the Two of Wands. I'll set that aside. Keep talking. Okay, the Monday there's a press conference that's being held. There's chatter in the alt media community that securing DC and addressing crime in DC may have a lot to do with the fact that grand juries are convening that are going to be discussing some narratives that were distributed and have since been discredited with the declassification. We have a cat that's about to join us, guys. I'm going to keep going. Hi, Sparkle. Okay, so there's grand juries convening on the 15th. Trump is meeting with Putin in Alaska to discuss ending the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and it's very interesting. So, is he getting ready to really take some big steps? We'd like to know what they are, if so, plus additional insights and information. So, what is going on? Okay, now the Two of Wands, I'm going to, like I said, keep it on the board, but get it as far away as possible. And I'm going to have to move a cat. Oh gosh. Okay, I love you, Sparkle. Let's get the cards distributed before I do that. Okay, I'm going to set her down. She'll be right back up because I know her routine. And that way my cards don't leave camera view before I pause. Okay, so one more time we'd like to know what kind of plans besides the ones that are being publicly stated might be, plus additional insights and information. Okay, we have the Queen of Cups. We have the Four of Cups. Judgment. The Tower. Hello, Tower. The Two of Swords. The Five of Cups. Queen of Swords. Okay, well, let's see what's going on here. I laugh because the tower's been showing up a lot, and when we do, as our work goes from dark to light, this is actually a development that we can celebrate. Okay, one of the things that the tower seems to be coming up about is changes in our financial system, but it's also involved with plans that are happening that involve Washington, D.C., according to what we're saying here. Now let's look here at our jumper. The Two of Wands talks about starting out on a new path that's pretty clear before you. So, in other words, maybe some announcements about changes and that are going to change, and with an eye to a clear vision for our world and starting to make it become more evident, obvious, and observable. So that's what I think the jumper was trying to tell us. Now let's look here and see what the other cards were. The situation, Queen of Cups, okay? She's a card that talks about kind of being in touch with your emotional side and to have some compassion. So it's a card of compassion. So it's just a reassurance here that whatever plans are announced have been made thoughtfully to have the least disruption possible to regular people's lives. Okay. And yeah, there's more going on than what they're saying. Okay. Absolutely. So there are some agendas that play on top of addressing crime in Washington, D.C., and getting rid of people that are not legally meant to be in our country. So that's being addressed too, but there's more going on. And I think it has to do with moving us ahead to a better place. a better place. The judgment card is showing up the recent past. So again, confirmation that what we're going to be told is actually things that kind of have already happened. They're just now entering, we're getting told about them. We keep getting told we're watching a movie, and the cards over and over again confirm that, saying, hey, people were held accountable for past actions in the past, but it's time to have it be made known. It's going to create a tower effect for people that still rely on like mainstream media for their news, etc. It's going to be big for those, but for those of us that are waiting, we're just going to be going, finally, finally. And let's look at going ahead, what's going on. First of all, if we're expecting to have all of our hopes and dreams answered with the announcement on Monday. Some of them are still in the planning stages. They're still kind of on hold a little bit. The what will be announced is going to, this is kind of my deep state card, used to signify number 46 for me, but it is going to signify some sadness. The announcements will be ones that make patriots happy, but not necessarily the deep state or cabal, because um, progress has been made and progress is going to be reported, and actions are going to match announcements. So that's really good. The Queen of Swords is a card of patience. So just understand, we have to have a little patience. We are starting to we're past the drip drip stage, guys. We're into the flow stage. Okay, we're not quite at flood stage yet as far as information and having narratives match actions, etc. But we're getting closer and closer. And the swords is about words spoken and written, also often contracts and legal things. So there is going to be the actions that are taken will have a very good basis in being lawful, not dictatorial, and will be constitutional. So that's good to see. I'm going to get two more cards, see if we can have some different, or not different, but additional layers to what we're being told here about the Monday press conference by President Trump. That's tomorrow. Hierophant is showing up. High Priestess, a couple of major arcanas. This makes four already for us. The Star. Oh, I love you, Star. Good. Thank you for showing up. And the Four of Wands. Okay, so what's going to happen is there's changes coming to both government and more changes coming like to our educational choice. Things like that are going to be happening. There's more announcements coming. Some of them you can just logically see. And that's what the High Priestess is indicating, that while things might not be announced, it's going to be so evident that they're coming, you'd almost have to deliberately have your eyes closed to not know. For example, that there's more changes coming to our education system, our health systems, our food supplies, etc. More changes are coming, and they're all going to be ones that are made, again, thoughtfully and lovingly for regular people. Now, the final two cards, talking about the near future events, the 17th major arcana, the Star card, a card again that typifies Team 17, as well as the fact that we have some very benevolent off-world help helping us make these changes and restore our world to what it should be, both physically as a plane of existence, and then by the criteria and expectations that we live by within that. And then the Four of Wands just says we're going to be really happy and celebrating. We're coming into partnership with our planet and with our friends and compatriots that is going to be beneficial, and one that can be celebrated and should have already been public and happening and part of what we lived with. So good changes coming, and judgment has already happened, and it created what's going to be a tower moment for things that happen that include the Washington, D.C. area in some form or fashion. So let's recap. By the way, I did not stop the video. My cat was happy to move down by my feet. So hopefully I can finish the video without stopping it. But Sparkle made a guest appearance during the tarot card work, and so I never stopped the camera when the cards are being worked. It would have been a case of starting everything over, and I didn't want to do that. So Sparkle made a guest appearance. President Trump has been very busy this weekend, including having a public briefing with AG Pam Bondi 2.0, and also putting some things out on social media saying that he's holding a press conference on Monday, planning to address some really uh, balls to the wall plans to reduce crime in Washington, D.C. That sparked speculation in the alt media community because we're also getting ready to have some grand juries convened to consider some really serious charges with people that used to be the powers that be uh, for narratives that have been proven false via disclosures and declassification of previously confidential and classified materials. So, we asked, is there, what's going on? Is this just about crime in DC? Can you tell us what else might be going on? And the cards were pretty informative. You can back up the video if you want to see what all of them that came up, but I just want to show you that in the recent past, we have the judgment card showing that, again, we've been told over and over again by 17 team that we're watching a movie saying, you know, we're going to be informed about things that really have already happened because the criminal justice department actions don't take nearly the time to go from start to finish that the public domain does. And we've had executive orders that have made a lot of consequencing possible since 2018. So again, recent past judgment, creating the fact that this press conference Monday is going to seem to herald some tower moments, ones that have already been done, but we're going to be told about them. Now, we were wondering, is it just about crime in DC? And we were told, no, there's more going on. There's more going on than the stated ones, okay? And with some logic, you know, like good patriots are using as they say, hey, what else could be going on? It's no coincidence that Trump has brokered some peace deals that were very, very much needed and beneficial to our United States. And he is now trying to do the same with the conflict that is happening with Russia and Ukraine. By the way, I want to celebrate. A few years ago, I would have had to say the country that starts with you. So things are changing. Just like we're saying with a lot of these things, you know, there is some change. It's positive. We're not all the way where we need to be. If we were, YouTube wouldn't have slowed down my recording on Friday night and then shut it off before I asked for it to. So, because I was having no internet issues, none. And my three moderators were in different parts of the country. So, yeah, it wasn't like a local problem or anything like that. It was imposed upon us. Okay. So we got the tower moment coming, which in other words, going to be some reveals that are going to, so there are some big changes coming. There's some announcements coming. And the Trump said last Wednesday that he would not rule out using the National Guard for the cleanup and peacekeeping purposes that he has plans for. And it did indeed seem to show that. But nice thing was it said, looking forward, first of all, you can expect more changes in your health systems, healthcare systems, and educational systems. Those are coming. The changes that are coming shouldn't, for people that just can put two and two together and make four, have some logic and deductive reasoning. It's going to be fairly much no big surprises for those of us who have those qualities and use them. So some people have them and don't, but many of us do. And just the final confirmation, the changes that are coming are beneficial. We have help that deserves to have a lot of praise that it hasn't gotten yet, including some benevolent, I think, off-world help, but definitely divine, if not off-world. If your lens has a divine belief to it, stop there. If not, mine's a little wider, and I think divine plus benevolent off-world help. We're going to be aware of some partnerships that help get our plane of existence where it should have already been long ago. And that is freer, safer, more sovereign, and healthier. And lots of good changes coming. So the press conference has some subtext to it as far as other plans that may be hinted at or even just in general announced, but it's paving the way for having Washington, D.C. be a hub that it wasn't safe to be a hub for publicly prior to this. That's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time and attention and going with me as we explore via some rather previously non-traditional ways of gleaning some information about current events or things happening in our world or to ourselves. So if you're willing to receive it, I send you love, I send you laughter, I send you light, I send you just a hope that you have the most beautiful, brightest, positive life possible, and or work towards it if you're not quite there yet. Love, light, and everything bright. Bye.